Everyone talks about Napoleon Hill's laws of success, desire, faith, persistence, imagination, but very few ever ask the real question: what powered those laws? What was the hidden force behind them that made them work? Because if the laws were the surface, this force was the engine beneath it, the part Hill hinted at, but never fully revealed. That hidden force wasn't luck, it wasn't talent, it wasn't even opportunity. It was something far deeper, the inner current that made his principles come alive in the real world. Hill called it the master key to riches. It wasn't a single action, but a state of mind, a vibration and alignment, a deep connection between thought and purpose. Most people read Hill's teachings like checklists. They try to do the steps, think positively, visualize success, repeat affirmations, but they miss the point. Hill never wanted you to just follow his principles, he wanted you to feel them. He believed that the power of thought only works when the mind and spirit move as one. That's the hidden force behind it all, emotional energy fused with purpose. Every thought carries energy. When that energy is scattered, it dies quickly. But when it's charged with emotion and directed by a clear purpose, it becomes magnetic. It pulls ideas, people, and opportunities toward you. That's what Hill discovered after studying the greatest minds of his time, from Edison to Ford to Carnegie. They all had one thing in common: a burning inner drive that turned thoughts into things. Hill wasn't just writing about success. He was decoding the invisible chemistry between belief and reality. He found that every law of success, faith, persistence, imagination, organized planning depends on that inner current. Without it, even the best plan collapses. With it, even an ordinary person can move mountains. Think about it. You can memorize all of Hill's principles, but if you don't have that emotional intensity, that inner electricity that fuels them, they stay as words, not power. Hill's success wasn't born from knowledge alone. It came from understanding how to ignite that force within. He said, thoughts are things, but what makes a thought powerful enough to become a thing? It's the energy behind it: faith charged with emotion, vision fused with purpose, silence blended with focus. That's the real secret Hill practiced and taught through example. In this series, you're not just going to hear about his principles. You'll understand the power that made them work. And once you grasp it, you'll see why some people read, think, and grow rich and change nothing, while others read it once and change their entire lives. Napoleon Hill believed that every thought we think is energy, invisible but powerful. Most people treat thoughts like random ideas that come and go, but Hill understood that thought is the raw material of reality. It's like electricity. You can't see it, but if you direct it with focus and emotion, it can light up an entire world. But here's the catch: most people's thoughts are weak because they lack energy. They think without emotion, without clarity, without faith. Their mind sends out mixed signals: I want success. But deep inside, I don't think I can get it. Hill discovered that this inner conflict kills the magnetic power of thought. The universe doesn't respond to confusion. It responds to definite purpose charged with belief. That's why he said, a burning desire is the starting point of all achievement, and not a wish, not a hope. A burning desire, a thought wrapped in emotion so strong it becomes unshakable. When you feel something deeply enough, it stops being imagination and starts becoming instruction. You're no longer asking the world for something, you're commanding it through your mental energy. Hill spent over 20 years studying people like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Andrew Carnegie. He noticed that all of them had mastered this unseen energy. They didn't just believe in success, they lived in a state where success was inevitable. They thought about their goals so vividly, with so much emotion, that the world began to shape itself around their vision. That's the energy behind thought. It's not magic, it's focus meeting emotion. When the two align, your subconscious begins to reorganize everything around your dominant idea. Hill described the subconscious mind as a bridge between thought and reality. If you feed it emotional thoughts of victory, it moves heaven and earth to create circumstances that match. If you feed it fear or doubt, it does the same in the opposite direction. This is why so many people fail even when they know the laws. They focus intellectually but feel emotionally defeated. Their thoughts say I can, but their emotions whisper I won't. Hill's hidden force was the understanding that the mind obeys emotion more than logic. You become what you feel, not what you say. The key, Hill said, was to make your desire so strong that it overrides fear. To think with conviction so deep that every part of your being believes it. That's when your thoughts stop floating aimlessly and start producing results. Every great achievement begins when thought turns electric, when faith energizes the mind. It's the spark that makes ideas magnetic. Hill's success came not just from thinking, but from feeling those thoughts into existence. So if you've ever wondered why your dreams stall or why effort alone isn't enough, it's because the engine behind your thoughts isn't fully powered. And in the next section, you'll learn how Hill harnessed that energy through something even more powerful than thinking faith in motion. Napoleon Hill rarely used the phrase law of attraction, but everything he wrote pointed straight to it. He called it faith, not faith in a religious sense, but faith as a living force, the bridge between imagination and achievement. Hill knew that belief, when mixed with purpose and emotion, sets invisible laws into motion. He once wrote, "Faith is the only known antidote for failure." He meant that no matter how intelligent, skilled, or hardworking a person is, without faith, their actions remain hollow. Faith is what transforms effort into momentum. It's the invisible fuel that pushes you when logic says you're done. But Hill's definition of faith wasn't about waiting or hoping. It was about movement, faith in motion. He believed that when you act as if your dream is already real, your subconscious mind begins adjusting your world to match it. Every great success story he studied followed this pattern: belief first, evidence later. He saw it in Henry Ford when the world laughed at his dream of affordable cars. He saw it in Edison after 1,000 failed attempts to make the light bulb. He saw it in every entrepreneur who refused to stop. They didn't wait for results to believe. They believed until the results appeared. That's faith in motion. Hill said that our minds act like broadcasting stations, sending out vibrations of thought. Faith amplifies those vibrations. It gives them strength and clarity. When your belief is clear, it draws people, ideas, and events that align with it. You don't have to chase everything. Your frequency attracts what matches your conviction. The reason most people never see this power is because their faith is conditional. They believe only when things are easy, when success seems possible. But Hill taught that true faith is strongest when proof is weakest. It's when you move forward despite fear, when you build while everyone doubts you. That's the moment your belief turns magnetic. Faith doesn't erase obstacles, it redefines them. Hill said every setback contains the seed of equal or greater benefit. When you have faith in motion, you stop seeing failure as an end and start seeing it as instruction. Every no becomes redirection. Every delay becomes preparation. And that's what made Hill's principles so powerful. His law of success wasn't a formula of actions, it was a transformation of identity. Faith turns you into the kind of person success naturally belongs to. Once your mindset reaches that level, life has no choice but to follow. But faith alone isn't enough. Hill combined it with organized planning and persistence. He knew faith must be backed by strategy, and belief must be proven through endurance. That combination, emotion, plan, persistence, forms the rhythm of creation. So, if you're wondering why your belief hasn't brought results yet, remember Hill's hidden law. Faith isn't belief that something will happen, it's belief so strong that it makes it happen. In the next section, we'll uncover how Hill used silence and solitude to strengthen his faith. and why inner stillness was his secret weapon for clarity and creative power. Napoleon Hill understood something that few success teachers ever talk about. Silence is not the absence of action. It's the birthplace of it. Behind his writings, behind the stories of millionaires and inventors he studied, there was a deeper pattern. Every breakthrough began in stillness. Hill believed that silence is where the mind reorganizes itself. In his interviews with Henry Ford, Edison, and Carnegie, he noticed they all had moments of withdrawal, time away from noise, people, and distractions. That's where ideas matured. That's where conviction turned into direction. He called this state the workshop of the mind. You can't enter it when your mind is cluttered with constant activity. The human mind, Hill said, is like a radio. It can't receive a strong signal if too many frequencies are colliding. Silence clears the interference. When you step away from the world's noise, something powerful happens. You start hearing your own thoughts again. You start distinguishing between what you really want and what the world told you to want. That's why Hill encouraged daily solitude. Even 10 minutes of quiet thinking could realign your purpose. Faith, in his philosophy, wasn't just an emotional force, it was a frequency that required clarity. And silence refines that frequency. In silence, your doubts become visible, your fears surface, but instead of running from them, Hill taught that you must face them, because once you understand your fears, they lose their control over you. That's the paradox of silence. Most people avoid it because they don't want to hear their own insecurities, but the great minds Hill studied used it as a mirror. They looked directly at their weaknesses until those weaknesses revealed hidden strengths. He wrote that imagination thrives in silence. The mind needs space to connect ideas that logic alone cannot. The light bulb, the airplane, the assembly line, all were born from moments of quiet reflection before they became public revolutions. Hill's own life proved it. When his first ventures failed and publishers rejected him, he didn't drown in noise. He disappeared into silence, recalibrated his thoughts, and came back with sharper focus. He used silence to strengthen his belief, not question it. This is why he often said, "Thought, backed by faith, knows no such word as impossible." That kind of thought is cultivated in stillness. You can't develop unshakable faith if you're constantly reacting to everything around you. So if you ever feel lost or disconnected from your goals, stop trying to push harder. Instead, pause, step back, listen to the silence, because that's where your subconscious, the true engine of success, starts working for you. Hill knew that silence wasn't about doing nothing. It was about preparing everything. It's where desire is refined into clarity and faith turns into command. He used it to tune his mind before every major decision. And when he emerged from silence, he didn't move with hesitation. He moved with certainty. In the next section, we'll explore how Hill transformed that inner certainty into disciplined action, and how he turned invisible thoughts into tangible results through one principle: organized planning. Napoleon Hill called persistence the iron quality of success. It was, to him, the final gate that separated those who merely wanted something from those who owned it. Every great idea, he said, will test its creator. The universe will ask, how badly do you really want this? And persistence is the only answer that counts. Hill had seen it over and over. The people who reached greatness weren't the smartest, the richest, or even the most talented. They were simply the ones who refused to quit. He learned from Edison, who failed more than 10,000 times before the light bulb worked, from Ford, who went broke 5 times before revolutionizing transportation, from Carnegie, who began with nothing but an idea and an unshakable will. Persistence, Hill believed, is not just about effort. It's about a state of mind, the decision to keep moving even when logic tells you to stop. It's the act of standing up one more time than you've fallen. He wrote, Most people are ready to throw their aims overboard and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. A few carry on despite all opposition until they attain their goal. These few are the Fords, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, and the Edisons. That's the silent test life gives everyone. Can you keep going when results don't show yet? Hill compared persistence to faith under pressure. When your faith is tested, persistence is what proves it was real. Talk is easy when the path is clear. Persistence is action when the path is dark. He described persistence as a muscle, something you build through use. Every time you keep going when it would have been easier to stop, that muscle grows stronger. You become more immune to doubt. You start trusting effort more than emotion. Hill also warned about the greatest enemy of persistence, temporary defeat. He said that when most people fail once, they label it impossible, but successful people see failure as feedback. They ask, "What's this teaching me?" instead of "Why me?" He told the story of R.U. Darby, a man who gave up mining for gold after stopping just 3 feet short of a massive vein. Another prospector came, dug a little deeper, and found one of the richest strikes in Colorado. Darby's story haunted Hill not because he failed, but because he quit too soon. That became one of Hill's core lessons. You are always closer than you think. Most people quit in the final stages, right before the breakthrough. The test always gets hardest when you're near the end. Hill's solution was simple but profound: build persistence by creating purpose. When your why is strong enough, your how appears. Desire fuels persistence. Without deep desire, no plan will survive pressure. But when your desire burns hot enough, it lights the way even when everything else goes dark. He said, every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. That idea changed how people viewed obstacles. Instead of enemies, they became instructors. Instead of setbacks, they became preparation. And persistence isn't only about grinding. Hill emphasized intelligent persistence, adjusting your methods, but never your goal. If one plan fails, make another. If one door closes, build a new one, but never walk away from the dream that defines you, because persistence, in Hill's words, is the continuous effort to turn belief into reality. It's the engine that carries every other principal desire, faith, planning, imagination across the finish line. He believed persistence gives life to your purpose. Without it, even the most brilliant idea dies quietly. With it, even the smallest spark can start a revolution. So Hill's final message was this: when you refuse to quit, life eventually surrenders. Every obstacle bends to the person who keeps showing up. Every delay becomes a lesson. Every defeat becomes data. Every no becomes preparation for the yes. That matters. And that's the real hidden force behind Napoleon Hill's success. Laws the quiet, unshakable persistence to keep believing, building, and becoming until the dream turns into reality. Because in the end, success doesn't come to the lucky, it comes to the relentless.